I am in Spokane, Washington. No makeup, just kind of hanging out this morning. I have a class this afternoon. It's on bobs and bangs. It's called Unplugged. Just where I'm kind of working with, people in the audience. We're just doing an actual live model and hanging out for a couple of hours, some wine, some charcuterie. But I'm doing my French bob right now. And I've always loved little French bobs because they're that combination of graduations. So I have my graduation in the back, which is a classic graduation, and then graduation in the front, which is like a graduated bob. So it splits right at the ear, and behind the ear, I'm working with diagonal back sections. In front of the ear, I work with diagonal forward sections. So yeah, I just thought I'd kind of share since I haven't been on here in a little while. Life has been just a little bit challenging, as you might imagine. So here we are with that split right in the middle. So I've got my regular graduation with diagonal forward sections. I have about a 45-degree elevation. I mean, it's pretty low, but I want this to be nice and heavy. I'm going for just that classic little graduation in the back and a little bit of length in the front. So where are you guys joining from? I would love to see. I look so cute right now. This is like summertime, woke up like this. How's my husband? Thanks for asking. He's doing pretty good. We're working on a lot of speech therapy and working on our communication because it's a big challenge, to be quite honest. So, but today we are having a class here in Spokane, Washington, and this is my bobs and bangs class. So with bobs, we have basically three different types we can do. We can do one length, we can do layered, we can do graduated. And the same thing is true for the fringe area. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that. And yeah, just having a hangout time. So what we've done in the back here is I'm working with diagonal back sections underneath, and this is giving me kind of let's get this up here so you can actually see it. There we go. It's giving me kind of a classic graduation in the back. Then in the front, I switched to diagonal forward sections. So they're kind of a V shape right over the ear. So in the back, I've got over directing forward, 45-degree elevation. And I'm just going to finish this one side for you guys. So this gives us a nice rounded feeling in the back. And then as we move towards the front, it increases in length and gets a little bit heavier. So this is my version of a French bob. You can see how that curve just kind of happens naturally with the change in the partings. So just continuing through, I'll do a few more sections. Don't quite know what life is bringing right now, but I know that I can still cut hair. So we can always cut hair. Okay, so working with that over direction back. And then I switch behind the ear into over directing forward with my other diagonal sections. So this just gives me a different type of a bob instead of only working with diagonal forward sections. Typically when we do graduation, we're kind of working with those diagonal forward sections all the way through. And this kind of gives us a little bit of a different feeling in the bob. It gives us a nice little rounded shape in the back. And then once I'm done, I'm going to place a nice strong kind of a short fringe on her. So just a couple more sections and I'll be done with this side. So if you have any questions, go ahead and hello everyone. Yeah, I know I look kind of rough, sorry. Don't you ever do hair before you get ready? Okay, you're welcome. I love education. So I haven't been able to do a whole lot. I've been sticking close to home. But I love getting on here with you guys. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat and I'll see if I can answer them. So still just working with that low graduation. I'm developing weight right now. And when you first look at this, you might think it's just like a regular graduated bob. Hang on, let me get, maybe I'm better. Oh, there we go. Well, that's better. There we are. You can see kind of my studio now. A lot of times when we're working with graduation, we think that maybe it's only diagonal forward or one direction. And many times the graduation will shift and kind of change as we're working. So, yeah, I know. I've seen several of you comment, oh, you're not made up. Nope, not made up today. Not for a little bit anyway. Okay, and then as we move through this front area, I'm working with that low graduation. And above the round of the head, I've switched to the wide teeth of my comb. When working with graduation, you need a lot of tension, but you do want to allow for growth patterns. So I've switched to the wide teeth of my comb above the round of the head. And this should be pretty much my last section. Over directing that slightly back. And I don't know, do you guys want to see the other side too? Or is this side enough? Let me know. Okay, not like that. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the other side. So I split at the ear, and I've already done the graduation underneath. I got through part of it before I decided, oh, I'll pop on. Love watching your hair cutting. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so this has a slight diagonal forward, and in the back we have a diagonal back. And this will tie into what I've already done underneath. So I started out in the nape area working with diagonal back sections. So when I was doing this back area, all of my sections were like this. So they were diagonal back, over directing forward in order to create that fullness right around the occipital bone area. So I'm continuing with that. So splitting right at the ear. This over directs just slightly forward. Continue my line, and then it shifts to diagonal forward. So this is where the kind of the magic happens, and it looks not like just every other bob. So you'll see me shift, and now I'm going to work diagonal forward. So I'm not actually doing these cuts inside my class today. I'm doing a live model, and she has a finer textured hair. So we're going to be cutting kind of a strong line and then placing a few layers on top. And her fringe will actually be a layered fringe. One thing I found is when you're working with bobs, you have a one length bob, you have a layered bob, and you have a graduated bob. This is a graduated bob, and so there's a smooth surface on top. So if we do like a layered fringe on a graduated shape, it might have a little bit rougher time blending it than you will on a layered shape. So usually with a graduated bob, I'll do a graduated fringe. And in this case, it's going to be like a soft, rounded fringe. Let's see, are there any comments? Any comments on here? Oh, what scissors am I using? I'm using my 6-inch angel blades. These are a Japanese molybdenum steel. They're handcrafted. Each one of them is separate, done individually. They have a beveled edge on the blade as opposed to a convex edge. So these are a little bit of a softer cut. I like them for a lot of my texturizing techniques. And sometimes, you know, just in the kitchen, when you're working with knives, you don't always want to use the same knife for everything. Sometimes you want different knives. I view my scissors kind of like that. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. I know. Several of you like, nice makeup today. What length do I recommend for a round face? It kind of depends on the entire cut. So if somebody has a round face, I probably wouldn't put their bob right at their jawline. I would leave it a little bit longer, or you could do a slight asymmetry would be pretty as well. So let's see here. Working forward, diagonal forward, right on top of my guide. So when you're working with graduation, you should be able to see your guide very clear. If you can't see your guide clearly, that means you're either elevating your graduation up into your guide, in which case you'll cut the top too short, or you might lower your elevation too much, and that pushes your guide down into your previously cut hair. So with graduation, you have to be really careful just to sit right on top of your guide. And if you're too low, you can't see it. If you're too high, you can't see it either. Okay, here we go. Trying to get out of your way there. Now, you guys, I'm going to be in Palm Springs, September, I think it's 14th and 15th, for the Hairbrained HB Fest. I'm doing a hands-on class, and it will be, I'm trying to remember which one I did. I think it's at my short hair class. And so I've got a hands-on class, and then I'm also doing a look and learn session that is all about design. So when you're asking questions, like what length should hair be for somebody's face shape, or what are some different, some appropriate things, some things that I always go towards when I'm designing, I'll be covering all of that in that class. We're going to talk about face shape, profiles, body shape. So it won't be an actual haircut, but I'll be using volunteers from the audience and going through and comparing the differences between people, and how if you were to put the same cut on different people, it is going to end up looking completely different. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That again is the Hairbrained Fest. And so you can go on to Hairbrained and find those tickets. Oh, I can also link them. I think they're also in my link tree. They should be. I haven't been on social media all that much, so forgive me for not having everything dialed in right yet. Okay, continuing here. God, it feels good to cut a head of hair. Anybody want a haircut? Come over. Okay, here we go. I can see my guide nice and clear. I don't know if you guys can see that through there. And you'll notice as I'm cutting, I'm only moving my thumb blade. So this gives us a much cleaner cut as opposed to closing both of your blades. Here we go. And you can see that shift in direction. So I've got a little bit of a diagonal back in the back, and then a diagonal forward. The name and date for the class. The one in California, it's the Hairbrained Festival, HB Fest. And if you go to Hairbrained Official, you can find tickets there, and I believe it's also linked in my bio. And I'll be doing a short hair class that is an addition to the tickets that you purchase for Hairbrained. And then also I'm doing a look and learn, which would be included in the ticket price. And that, I think I called it Designing with Purpose or something along those lines. But if you just look at at their brochure, you'll see the different, the classes listed. And I think they did a post on it today where I actually am linked in it. Okay, so continuing. I think cutting hair is one of the greatest art forms there are. Either way. Okay, hey. Okay, here we go. Continuing on, I'm almost done. And then if you guys want to hang out, I'll show you the fringe too. I have to do it anyway, might as well teach. So once again, switching to the wide teeth. Yeah, if you guys are interested, the Hairbrained event, I'm pretty sure it's September 14th. My calendar is inside my phone, so just go to Hairbrained. Jacob Kahn will be there, Emily Chen, DJ Muldoon, Brianna Cisneros, gosh, a lot of Lupe Voss, a bunch of people. You have the best of the best at that. I mean, Hairbrained always does such a great job with their events. Okay, nearing the end here, over directing that forward. on top of my guide. After I do this, whenever I work with like a classic graduation, which diagonal partings like this, we're working diagonal backs, this is considered classic graduation. And what it does is it creates fullness in that occipital bone area. So whenever I do that, I always do a cross check right across the back of the head. Okay, continuing. Are you going to take your bike out? Yeah? Oh, my husband is going to take his bike out. Be careful. Okay, here we go. I'm working with those diagonal forwards. Now cutting. So I have a little bit of over direction back, which means that front area is just going to swing forward and be a little bit longer. I'll be taking a triangle section. I can't even talk anymore, you guys. Okay, I'll be taking a triangle section for the fringe and working that completely separate. So it'll be a disconnected fringe. So right now, just carrying through. Here we go. Okay, so this is a version of a little French bob. I've got some extra weight that I'll texturize at the end. But right now I'm going to cross-check through the back, then I'll pop over to the fringe area. So the class that I'm teaching today is in Spokane, Washington. I think we might have a couple of seats left if you're in Spokane. It's a look and learn, and it's a couple of hours long. I call them unplugged because it's very raw. Don't worry, I'll put on some makeup for that. But we'll go through, talk about bobs and the different types of bangs that go with different types of bobs, because there is a rhyme and a reason to why you would put something together. That's from 4 until 6 in Spokane, Washington, over at Department Z, which is Zoe Boyson's place. She's a dear friend of mine. It's just going to be very, very casual. It will be filmed. And my Serious Beauty Society, which is my membership, you guys, I have a complete membership. And I don't talk about it all that often. I'm not quite sure why, because we do a lot of cool things. But that will go up in the membership as part of their regular content. And it will also be available on my website, seriousbeauty.com, for sale. So if you're interested in that, it'll go up probably in another few weeks after it's all edited. But it'll be called Unplugged Bobs and Bangs. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm just cross-checking through, and you can see that this is a rounded shape. There's just a little right there. It's a little bit of a rounded shape. And the way that you get that really beautiful rounded shape is with classic graduation, which is diagonal back sections instead of diagonal forward. Okay, I'm going to move into the fringe next. Basically done there. Then I'll also be tightening up this area underneath. So when you look at this from the side view, you'll have a really tight little area and then this nice curvature. So this is the way that you get that, is with those diagonal back sections. Okay. Are my sides even? If not, we're working with asymmetry. Okay, there we go. Cross-checking. My right side might be slightly longer. That's okay. I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going to make it through the day right now. Okay. For this fringe, I want to have the maximum amount of hair possible. So the way that we do that is we go from the high point of the head out to what we call corner front. And corner front is where the hair kind of splits at that eyebrow area. So when you're looking for corner front, it usually matches with the eyebrow. So I'll find it in an exact way now. So we place the comb on top of the head horizontally, and where the head moves away from the comb, that's where the high point of the head is, almost like a beach ball. So we'll go from that point out to the corner of the eyebrow. And for those of you that are just joining me, this is preparation for my Bobs and Bangs class today. And that's at Off Center. That's at 4 o'clock in Spokane, Washington, so Pacific time. Okay. So I'm going to look at this. Okay, there we have our fringe section. Maybe a little off center. Yes, those are all my mannequins in the background. I have a bunch of them. They all need haircuts. I should get busy. It's like a busy day in the salon, isn't it? You're like, I'll never finish. I'll never finish all these mannequins. Okay. Like if your gut is telling you, oh, that's too much, always follow your gut. Felt like I had just a little too much, too far back. Okay. All right, there we go. Now this is one of my favorite fringe techniques. And it's working, I call this like a heavy, just a heavy fringe. It's going to sit rounded, so it's going to round with the forehead a little bit. It'll be held at a low elevation, so it's graduation. So what that does is that low elevation on top here blends with the low elevation that was done on the sides. So this actually on top it'll make sense. Then the front will be slightly rounded and it'll be disconnected from the rest. So we'll have a nice little like mini fringe and then the one length hair. Graduation and one length blend a lot better as far as a fringe to haircut, look at the fringe to the haircut, than a layered shape here. A layered shape would kind of cut into the visual blend. So don't want to do that. So I'm going to take my first section, and this is a vertical section all the way to the high point of the head. So all the way up here, I'm working with a vertical section. Okay. Then I'm going to comb this so we can get a good shot of it straight off the top of the head. So I call this serving tea. Anyone who's been in class with me knows that I use this whole analogy of serving tea where you could put a teacup on top. I need a little bit more water. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to comb this, like work its way down. I always like to say that the comb does all of the work. The hand only holds what the comb tells it to do. So I'm combing, hold, then I'd shift my comb, combing down further, down further. What I'm not doing is this and that. Okay, you need the root area to make sense and to be in line with what you want to do. So coming straight off the front, I'm going to tip that down right at the bridge of the nose. So right here is where I'm aiming my fingertips. So I'll drop it down, hold, and then I'm going to cut that off. So this is cutting off of the front of the head. Now, I can either choose, you could choose many different things right now. I could choose to overdirect everything to the center. So if I overdirected everything to the center, I would get quite a bit longer on the sides and I would have more of a round this direction. Perfectly fine, although I really don't want that. I don't want it to look blended necessarily. I want to have more of a straighter feeling. So what I'll do is I'll overdirect to my previous section. So it's almost creating a square out front here, like pulling everything to this point as opposed to all to the center. So I'll work with not a traveling guide, but overdirecting to my previous section. So continuing with those vertical sections. And now I'm going to overdirect just a little bit. So turn her. Instead of using a completely traveling guide where I move around the head, I'll overdirect just a little bit back. Making sure that I'm serving tea so it's flat on top. I can see my guide, use you guys as my mirror, like that. Now, does anybody have any questions? Let me see, I've got a lot of people joining. I don't see any, no questions. If you do, let me know. Okay. Now I'm splitting that section. I'm going to overdirect my next section just to the previous, so not to the center, because I don't want that much of an increase in length. Working on just serving tea. And this is, again, in preparation for my bobs and bangs class. So if you are in Spokane, Washington, you can come to one of my classes today. It's unplugged, which means it's going to be very raw. You'll be up close and personal, get to ask a bunch of questions. The tickets for that, you guys, are only $50. I just wanted to do something fun. So this is kind of what's evolved. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but this fringe gives a beautiful rounded beveled edge, and it slightly gets a little bit longer, which will read as almost horizontal when we're done. Okay, so moving to the other side. Now I'm going to have to over direct the opposite way. Oh, there's a question. What do you do with clients with too big of a forehead? Well, you know, it really depends on if they like their forehead or if they don't. But I would say usually a little bit more coverage is going to be more flattering. I would leave them a little bit longer and the edges a little bit longer. So if I was doing something like this, I might leave it a little longer and I would probably over direct to the center. But it really depends on the individual client. It's really hard to advise without being able to see something. So here we go. Yeah, so anyone who's just joining also, yes, I have no makeup on today. Not yet. I just wanted to kind of go live because I haven't done anything online in a long time. Since my husband's stroke, it's been very challenging to share. So I thought, what the hell? Well, why not? This is me. This is how I work, how I roll. Okay, 2 more sections. Just slightly over directing. For clients with curly hair, yes, I would definitely leave it longer. Yeah, all the same things apply. I always say that the fringe is a separate haircut. It's like a haircut of its own. And it has all the same properties that a regular haircut would. So yeah, I've got a lot of people asking how he's doing. He's actually, I think, out going for a bike ride, which, you know, is a little scary, but you know, what are you going to do? You've got to let people live, right? I can't keep him in a box. And he's perfectly capable. He has trouble communicating right now, so he learned how to say my name recently, which was amazing. But you know, you don't know what life's going to give you. We might actually take off in our trailer, where we're talking about taking off in our trailer and kind of going around the country. I might do hair along the way, teach classes along the way. I'm not sure. I don't know what's coming, which is really a weird spot for me, to be quite honest. Where did I put my water bottle? There it is. Okay. Same here, same here. Yep. Oh God, he's trying so hard, you guys. He's the determination of that man is amazing. And I wish I could say I was his, I don't even know what to say. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at her. Oh, I'm definitely a little bit longer on the one side. But look at how cute that is. I mean, to me, this is like the quintessential little French bob. So I don't know, if you jump off, that's fine. I'm going to blow dry this so I can do scissor over comb underneath. I would consider Chicago for sure. I mean, we don't know. He totally wants to live in Nashville. It's always been his dream. So who knows? Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to dry this off so I can tighten this up. So if you want to stick around, totally fine. I don't know, I might edit this. I might not even post it on my Instagram. Who knows? So hang on. Okay, let's see. I think. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't blame you guys if you jump off. Jump off, come back. Blow drying, I think, is the most boring thing to watch, but I'll be softening my weight line right here and tightening up the bottom when I'm done. I mean, I have to prep the whole thing, so if you guys want to stay on and watch this, come on. Hi. Is anybody out there from, maybe the Butcher and Bee? Oh, Nashville has the best restaurants ever. So I don't know. I mean, I love my house here. We'll probably just rent it out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. For the first time in my life, I really have no plan. I mean, it's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Now, for this, I could go through and blow dry it with, you know, like a Denman and really smooth it out. It's a messier feeling than that. I'm going to be placing some texture in it. So I don't feel necessary, like that's necessary. I just want it to be just kind of cute and have that little kick to it right there. Yeah. And I love how this fringe is turning out. If you can see how that bevels down? It's just such a pretty way to do fringe. I've had people ask, did you invent that? I'm like, no, Jacob Kahn invented it. He invented everything as far as hair goes. I'm just kidding. I'm really happy that I actually like my shorter side better than my longer side, so I'll probably kind of even that out. Now this is the new Dyson dryer. It's kind of nice, pretty light. But people give me different dryers. For me, as long as it gets the hair dry and isn't too heavy, I'm happy. So for my scissor over comb, I'm going to switch to my 7-inch Angel Blade. For scissor over comb, I really like using a longer scissor. And the reason, let me get back over there. The reason for that is that you can cut more hair at once. This is so not a professional video, you guys. You know, I've never used the other Dyson. Somebody asked if I like it better than the Dyson Shape, and I honestly have never used the other one, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is just rough dried. I'm going to skip, don't go away. Hang on. I've got to get this sweater off. It's so hot. And I look even cuter with it off, so. You got my Seahawks shirt. We are selling all of our Seahawks tickets this year. Anyone who's followed me for a while knows that we're very big Seahawks fans, but we may not be here and probably won't take the money and the time to go do that this year. So, okay, here we go. So as I'm working with my scissor over comb, the important thing about scissor over comb is that your teeth of your comb always need to be pointed at wherever you're going. So I don't want to get the teeth of the comb in there and place them straight up and down because my shape has graduation to it, doesn't it? So my shape is tipped out, longer on top. So that's what I need to do. And then also the teeth of my comb need to point, or excuse me, the angle of my comb needs to be the same as the angle of the end result so that I don't cut holes into it. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Hey, Mark. 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 I hear him down there. I want him to come up and say hi. Do you want to come up and say hi? I don't hear him. That must be a no. Okay, so just coming in, I thought I'd try. We might be I'm thinking about just kind of like sharing the whole journey when we travel. Would that be interesting? Because I'll cut, you know, on the road against the backdrop. Come on up and say hi, hun. I'm doing a live right now. You got your hat on. Everybody's asking how you're doing. Okay, so this is about as raw. Oh, somebody says, hi, Mr. Cyclist.
Oh, I know, right?
Yep. Okay, so just working. And you can see how the teeth of my comb are pointed out. So I'm not pointing up into my shape, otherwise I would cut into that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue a little bit more. I'll take my texturizers to this as well, my thinning scissors. And can you see how using like a 7-inch blade gives you a lot more control over scissor over comb? If it's a small blade, then you have to cut across like 2 times. And just using a large blade works really, really well. So these are my angel blades, the 7-inch. Okay, so coming in the opposite direction. So my comb is pointed diagonally again, the same way my partings work. So we'll come in here. This is finishing up the graduation in my little French bob. So just working into my weight line. And then I'll be softening this weight line with some deep parallel point cutting. Whoops. I don't know if you heard that, but I just cut a hole into my graduation. That's okay. Come in and blend it more. I don't know if you've ever done that where you cut and all of a sudden it's like, oops, that was a little bit more than I intended. Got going a little too fast. Just means it'll be nice and tight at the bottom. So once again, this is prepping for my Bobs and Bangs class here today in Spokane, Washington. We're downtown at Department Z, and I believe there's like 3 or 4 seats left. It was going to be 15, we made it to 20, and now we've got, 25 tickets available. So, but I think we're at 21 right now. So I'm just going to soften this edge a little bit with a little point cutting. And I don't know if there's some new people on, but I'll be in Palm Springs at the JW Marriott at the HB Fest, the Hairbrain Festival, along with just some amazing educators. We've got, we'll have to say Jacob Kahn, Ben White, Lupe Voss, Brianna Cisneros, DJ Muldoon, tons of really great educators. And so if you guys are looking for some education, that is September, I think 14, 15, or 15, 16, I should know the date. And I'll be doing a hands-on class, I think it's a short hair class. And then also a look and learn where we're talking all things design. So you know how I do the whole thing with the comb on the side of the face, talk a lot about face shape. I do a lot of things with the skull shape. I'll be taking several people from the audience and bringing them up and showing the difference between people, because it's really interesting when you start kind of noticing that everyone is very unique. Everyone has their own specific set of features, their own specific beauty. And so to accentuate the beauty in someone, you really have to be able to take a look at them individually. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of scenario. Okay, so you can see how that, with just that little bit of deep parallel point cutting, is starting to soften my shape. So keeping the hair at a low elevation, my comb is parallel to my original partings, and then I'm point cutting parallel to that parting. What this does is it collapses and blends my shape exactly as I cut it. Let me get on this side. And like I said, this is my version of a little French bob. in preparation for my bobs and bangs class. Now, as I go into the front, I'm going to switch my partings for my texturizing from diagonal back to diagonal forward, because that's the line that I created. It has that soft curve around the side of the head. Ugh. Okay, I'll let down my next section. You can see how the next section has a little bit of weight. Okay, does anybody have any questions? You can throw them out there about bobs or bangs, and I'll see if I can see the questions. Okay, so right there. Combing through, getting all the grains of the hair going one direction, and then point cutting into that line to soften. We don't want to destroy our line, we just want to soften our line. I always think with texturizing, you can destroy your shape, or you can really create a beautiful, beautiful shape. So coming in, picking up just the hair I need to texturize, and then deep parallel point cutting. Notice how I'm keeping my elevation low. It's not up here, I'm not all the way up like this, texturizing, because what I'm trying to change is at a low elevation. So my texturizing needs to be at the same elevation as I cut the hair, or as close as possible. Okay. A little bit in the center. And then my next section will be my last section. And I think I'm going to, before I actually do the texturizing, I'm going to do a filtering on the top. And filtering is good when you're working with growth patterns and you want to keep the hair long, but you might have some hairs that fall over. So I want to do that first. So filtering, I'll start low. My fingers are parallel to my line. You lift, and when you hit that teacup, you know, where you're balancing the teacup on top, after you pass that, then you just cut off any little hairs that are hanging over. So once you pass horizontal, that's when you cut. And doing the texturizing with the deep parallel point cutting wouldn't necessarily get these, so that's why I wanted to do it first. Do that all throughout the back. I don't know how long this is. I'm not going to put this on my Instagram, but unless you guys think I should. You guys tell me, should I post this or should it be just for you right now? Low elevation, keeping that down. Don't want to cut into the rest of the hair, but I don't know, maybe it was better with it on. Okay, here we go. Same thing, I'll pick up my line. My comb will be parallel to the end result. So here's my line, here's my comb. Then I'll go in and deep parallel point cut. This is to round and bevel this edge just slightly. I call this rounding. And if you want to see a really great example or a tutorial on this, and only this, on my website, seriousbeauty.com, I have all of my videos, and you can go in and look under the Bobs section in the education area, look under Bobs, and I have a technique, it's called rounding, and it explains this in a really great tutorial in depth. I also have like all the different fringes or bangs that I do, all the different texturizing techniques. I have my master class, which was 11 series sessions, different models, and I take you through the whole design process. So you can watch me analyze face shape, kind of follow my thought process. It has downloadable head sheets and design elements. So I've got a lot of different things in there, along with my angel blades, my membership. So if you really enjoy my education, you might want to check it out. Okay, here we go. Got a little hair to clean up on the bottom. Good thing her ears aren't real. There's a little bit of that filtering I was talking about. Okay. Oh, she's looking cute, huh? Little Frenchie. Okay. Let's do this side. We're nearing the end here. Of course, I'll probably do a little more polishing before my class, but okay. Deep parallel point cutting. Working section by section with just slightly forward, diagonal forward sections. So when I'm texturizing this, I want to make sure that I'm collapsing my shape or rounding my shape at the same point all the way through. Okay, so remember, for those people that just joined, or remember maybe for the first time, I will be in Palm Springs, September 14, 15, 16, that weekend. And I'll be teaching at Hairbrained Festival, the HB Fest. I'm really excited about that. I didn't get to go last year. I know it was a fabulous show. And it's going to be amazing because you get to be close up with all of the educators. It's not like we're on a big stage. We're like right in the middle of you guys. And so you get to meet everybody, go to a bunch of parties. It's just going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it this year. It's going to be hot for sure. For sure. Okay. Okay. I think that's my last section because I dropped my clippy. The last one. Okay. Like I said, she is slightly asymmetric. Don't judge me. I have to fix that. But I like her little fringe. Everything's good. It's good enough for right now. I'll let you guys hang out. Okay, so here's our cute little French bob with our, raise her up a little bit. Okay. How I accomplished this, there we go, is I utilized diagonal back sections in the back, and that gave us this really beautiful rounded shape in the back. Moved into diagonal forwards in front of the ear. So I need to clean this up under there. In front of the ear so that we got that nice arcing shape, fullness in the back, and then we did a graduated fringe in the front. So this fringe was done off of the front of the head, everything coming straight out, and I think she's kind of cute. And this is in preparation for my bobs and bangs class, which I need to get everything packed up, go shower, and it's going to be a fun class. So if you guys are in town, please join me. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.